All right, so in this video, we have a look at the brand new adidas UltraBOOST 22. And it's crazy that we're already here and this shoe is actually already releasing. But here we have it. And honestly, my very first impressions, I was like, wait a minute, how is this any different than this shoe right here? This is the UltraBOOST 21. So when I got these in as a 22s, I was like, wait a minute, I gotta deep dive into these and see what changes they made to the new model. So in this video, I wanted to get in some of the subtle changes that they made on this model, but there was one big change that they ended up doing, and I wanted to cover that one as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey, what is going on, guys? Hess here. Hopefully having a good day out there. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Did you guys enjoy that new intro? If you guys did, drop a like on the video. If you guys are new to my channel, you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys are interested in buying a pair of the brand new Adidas UltraBOOST 22, check the link in the description and you can head over to Adidas site to be able to cop a pair. And big shout out to Adidas for actually sending this pair over. Even though they sent these over, I'm not bound by any rules of what I can and cannot say about the products. It's just my honest opinions, and so please take it for what it is. So there's 11 changes to this from the previous model. About 5 things that I saw were fundamentally the same, but one major improvement that they did in this one that I honestly was very surprised to see, and I feel like it makes these shoes more comfortable than the previous. We'll start off with some words from what Adidas says about the model. Iconic running shoes made in part with Parley Ocean Plastics, a little extra push. I like that they actually integrated that into the story, LEP, little extra push. I'll get into why in a second. The UltraBOOST running shoes serve up comfort and responsiveness at every pace and distance. The Adidas PRIMEKNIT upper includes foam around the heel to prevent blisters. You're riding on a Boost midsole for endless energy with a linear energy push system for more responsiveness than ever before. That is what the LEP system is. It's a linear energy push, not little extra push, but I like conceptually little extra push better. A Continental Rubber outsole grips in wet and dry conditions so you can stride confidently. The shoe's upper is made from high-performance yarn, which contains at least 50% Parley Ocean Plastics, reimagined plastic waste, intercepted on remote islands, beaches, and coastal communities and shorelines, preventing it from polluting our ocean. The other 50% of the yarn is recycled polyester. Now I am curious about the weight in these, so I'm going to go ahead and weigh them and see. 12.1 ounces versus the previous one is 12.9. So that's actually a change that I was not 100% aware of. Somebody left a comment on Twitter and said that these were actually a little bit lighter. So shout out to you guys that mentioned that. So these are actually a little bit lighter than the previous version. So quickly, 5 things that are exactly the same from the previous, from what I can tell. The Boost midsole being one of them. It's the same body that the UltraBOOST 21 is on, with that same giant Boost midsole. And as they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The UltraBOOST 21 midsole is definitely really good, so no problems with them keeping that the same. Also, the traction pattern and the LEP system on the bottom seems to be exactly the same for the most part as well. I would also say that the overall shape from the previous model is exactly the same. The heel cage on the back of the shoe that comes around for the stability is exactly the same also. Also, the underfoot insoles of the shoes are exactly the same from the previous, minus the text being a little bit different. So getting into some of the things that are a little bit different, I noticed 11 subtle changes from the previous model. And I say subtle because honestly, they're not groundbreaking changes from the previous model. They're very small cosmetic differences from the previous version, with exception of that one big change that I'll mention in a second. The first minor change that they added is the lower eyelet has an added loop now instead of that traditional hole. It's actually hollowed out a little bit down in that section, and then they replace it with the nylon. And I don't know necessarily why they did that. If you guys have any inclination, leave a comment, but that is definitely something that they changed. Also, the upper eye stay has a large round opening, which is interesting because it's like 3 times bigger than the previous versions. I'm not necessarily sure again why they made that change, but it's definitely noticeable. And third, the lace cage shape is actually totally different. You can see they have a little notch out of the lower eye stay, as I mentioned, but at the top of the upper eye stay, it's actually more rounded off than it was previously. A lot of people complained that part actually like jagged into their foot a little bit, so maybe this will correct that problem because it's not as sharp as the previous version, but they also didn't retract it down further. The fourth small change is the tongue logo. Yes, they both say Adidas. The newer version is more rectangular and it's raised out a bit more as well. So for the fifth change, the larger mesh underneath the 3 stripes is actually removed. So they had some perforated holes that usually went all the way through the midfoot of the shoe, and that is no longer there anymore. They kind of just replace it with its own little midfoot panel. Small change number 6, the overall toe box shape looks fairly similar, but it is different. The toe box design is definitely more pronounced. The extra little impressions have been removed under the laces and around the mudguard. Number 7, they actually removed the de-embossed PRIMEKNIT logo in the inner collar. It's no longer on the 22. The Boost material comparatively between the two is actually different. It's a little bit shinier on the 22 version. Subtle change number 9 is the inner liner of the heel actually has more rounded padding. It's not as pronounced on the 21s. I do like that they smooth that out a little bit, probably protruded a little bit too far in the 21s. Subtle change number 10 is the Continental Rubber logo on the bottom of the shoe. They actually changed this. It says Natural Performance now, which is interesting that they just changed that up. I don't think that adding that's going to add to the wow factor of the model, but for some reason they felt like it was important to change that. So that was a 10th change worth noting. But the 11th change between the two models is actually one of the ones that I think makes this shoe much more comfortable than the previous model. And honestly, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it for myself. And honestly, all it is a really simple change to underneath the insole. The Strobel changed from uniform cutouts to 2 circular cutouts to the forefoot and the heel. And it's really weird because the heel cutout it's teeny. It's not that big. It doesn't feel like it would make that much of a difference. But when you put them on, you're like, whoa, this is like actually squishier in those 2 sections. So I think strategically they placed the holes into each of those sections, one in the heel and then one in the forefoot, maybe for like the 2 like higher impact sections of the shoe. But like it's actually noticeably more comfortable than in the previous, which I was like, well, how is that even possible? The other thing that I think it could possibly be is, and I might be crazy for suggesting this, it feels like the Boost material in general is actually softer in this one than the previous. And maybe it's just because like when I push in the center section right here where it says Boost on this one versus on this one, it feels a lot softer and squishier on the 22s than it does on the 21s. And I don't know, I don't have anything to back it up, but it feels like this Boost material is softer than on the previous. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Anybody that actually owns a 21 or 22, leave a comment and let me know. Like, am I crazy? Does this feel softer on feet than the previous version? And as for the sizing of the shoe, I would say that for me, they fit true to size. I mean, I have a little bit of a wider foot, but true to size actually works for me. They are a little bit snug in this forefoot section right here. However, if you actually take out the insole, I found that they're actually more comfortable without the insole. And something that I want to do, which I haven't done yet, and if you guys actually want to see this, drop a like on the video and a comment and let me know that you guys want to see me potentially destroy these shoes. But you see that one little circular hole right here? I want to take and actually remove the entire Strobel of the bottom of the shoe and see if I can actually wear these with that removed, because I feel like if I remove that, it's actually going to be even more comfortable than with that in there. But I don't know, I'm kind of crazy. I don't know if it would work, and I'm definitely willing to sacrifice my pair if you guys want to see it, because honestly I'm like, can I make these more comfortable? In my head I'm thinking maybe that's just a little hack that I can do that will make them even more comfortable than the previous one, because the previous one again is pretty good. I would definitely say that this one's more comfortable than the previous one, which is again baffling. But what do you guys think about the UltraBOOST 22? I like the fact that it's a little bit lighter. I like some of the small subtle changes. They didn't stray too far from home. If I would have changed anything about the shoe, I would definitely wanted to change the tongue. I don't like this style of tongue versus on the cold ready version of the UltraBOOST 21. I absolutely love that they put the OG style tongue back in. It's easier to get on your feet. The style of it, in my opinion, is just much better with that OG styling of the tongue. And I would love for Adidas to continue bringing back that OG style tongue in other models. It would definitely be welcome. Leave your comments again what you guys think about the UltraBOOST 22. If you guys want to buy a pair, check the link in the description. If they still have the 21s on their website, I'll link them as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys are new to the channel, again, please subscribe. Hopefully you guys will check out some of the other videos that I post, as I post at least 5 days a week. But have a good one, and hopefully we'll see you back. All right, peace, guys.